Abu Dhabi Dude! Hi there, this is Abu Dhabi Dude! Welcome back. And today's video, I thought we'd go on a little bit of an exploration trip. Not so much of an exploration trip, but I want to try and explore the public charging capabilities a little. We haven't really covered that, and in all honesty, I haven't really used that very much. If you watched my adjusting to life as an EV owner video, I said in that almost all of my charging is being done at home, which is true. Very rarely do I have to do more than 200 miles a day, and when I so therefore almost all of my charging can be done at home. I've only had to charge away from home or use public chargers anyway a couple of times, and that was back before I had my charger installed when I first had the car. Now, anybody who is on the IPace forums, the UK based IPace forums, ipaceforums.co.uk, if you don't know, you may or may not remember I made a post quite some time ago saying that I'd tried to charge in Kilmarnock. There's a network in Scotland called ChargePlace Scotland. They're basically run by Charge Your Car, but it's the Scottish one. I believe it's subsidised by the government. I'm not sure exactly how it all works, but there's some kind of government money involved in it, and they basically have chargers all over the place. You can access it through an app, but they also do an RFID card. If you want the RFID card, it costs you £20 per annum, but up until recently all the charging was free, which is a pretty good deal. I mean, you don't even need the RFID card, but quite a few people, when I was getting my iPace, I've got a couple of friends that have got EVs already, and they said get the RFID card because the app can be a bit flaky, and sometimes you'll try and use the app to start a charge and it just won't work. So I thought, okay, that makes sense to me. I'll get the RFID card. 20 quid a year and free charging. You can't really go wrong with that. So I ordered the RFID card. Now, as I say, it used to be free then for all charging, but 3 of the networks in Scotland have started charging. 2 of the councils in Scotland apparently have now started charging for charging. So I think it's Dundee and I think Dumfries where you now pay for charging. And the reason I know that is that somebody else was using my account. There was a bit of a mix-up to do with the card number, I believe, but somebody else's card got registered to my account and I got billed for about £20 worth of charges in Dumfries and Dundee. It's all been resolved now and they refunded my money, but initially it was a bit of a shocker. But yeah, so those 2 councils have started charging. So you got that to consider, but still £20 a year. I'm not in either of those council areas, so it's only if I travel there that I would get stung for charges, but you can guarantee it will come. Anyway, the whole point of this is to get to say that if anybody remembers, when I was doing that charging, I tried the ChargePlace Scotland charger, which is located at Kilmarnock's athletics arena, and it wouldn't work. Couldn't get it to work, couldn't get my card to work, couldn't get the charger to initialize a charge with the IPace, and a woman came while I was there and charged her Nissan Leaf up with no problems at all. Spent time on the helpline with them. It was about 20 minutes. It was freezing cold and pouring with rain, but the guy was very helpful. He just ultimately couldn't help me, couldn't get the charger to work, so he registered it as faulty. Now, it was since then that I've discovered that someone else was using a card that was showing up on my account. So I don't know if it maybe was a problem to do with that card. I really don't know, but I couldn't get it to work, so I gave up. That's the only time I've tried the ChargePlace Scotland network. So my £20 RFID card was a bit pointless, really. However, I thought today I'll go back to that charger with my new card and just see if I can get it to work. Failing that, I'm going to go to the InstaVolt round the corner that I used the last time, so I'm pretty sure I won't end up stuck. I don't think I'm going to be low on charge anyway, in all honesty, but we'll see. But the second thing I want to try is I have also got, if I show you, that's the RFID card for the ChargePlace Scotland account. But I also signed up with a company called ChargePoint, who gave me this RFID card, which is tiny. But as well as an RFID card, they also do an NFC virtual card, if you like, which works. I've got iPhone. I'm sure it's available on Android as well, but I can put it in my Apple Wallet, which I can then call up on my Apple Watch. Now, ChargePoint, as far as I understand it, they're a charging network that doesn't actually have any chargers. All they are is effectively a third party that sits between the charging companies and the customer, and it's almost one RFID card to rule them all, in that you have all your accounts accessible through this RFID card. They bill ChargePoint for your usage and you just pay ChargePoint. So rather than having, because this is one of the things that bugs me, but rather than having a pile of charging cards, you know, that you have to sort through, because you need a ChargePlace Scotland, you need a BP or Polar, you need a Genie, a PodPoint, etc, etc, etc. Instead, you just get this one card, link all, you know, set up an account with them, and then you can theoretically plug into just about any other network with your ChargePoint card. Or hopefully I'll be able to just swipe my Apple Watch. So what I'm going to try, first of all, I'm going to try at Kilmarnock Athletics track on the on my ChargePlace Scotland card, see if I can at least get a charge to start. If I get it going, then I'll stop it and I'll try my ChargePoint card to see if that works. If that works, then that's fine. I'll stick some charge in and then I'll go home. If neither of them work, if the charger is still giving problems with the IPace, which apparently some chargers can, some older chargers don't like working with the IPace, I've read, and this is the old style charger. So if I don't have any success there, what I'll do is I'll go to InstaVolt, who also are, they show up on the ChargePoint app, so I presume that means that I can actually just go through InstaVolt, you know, and swipe my ChargePoint card on the InstaVolt machine. There's no big advantage there, because with InstaVolt you can pay with a contactless payment card anyway, which means I can pay with my Apple Watch anyway. But I just want to try the ChargePoint thing out and see if it works, because as yet I've never used it before now. So that's today's plan, and yeah, we'll see how it goes. I've got a sneaking suspicion I'm going to come away from the athletics track disappointed. I've just got a sneaky suspicion that that charger, because it's the old style chargers, I've just got this horrible feeling it's just not going to work with my car. But that's, as I say, that's no biggie, because I know there's the InstaVolt round the corner, and in all honesty I've got a good amount of range, a good charge level, and I can probably comfortably make it there and back home without even needing to charge. But it's all a bit of an adventure, and it's a way of trying these things out, to be honest, when you don't need to, because I always think it's better to try it out when you don't need to than try it out when you do need to, when you're at 10% battery, and discover that you don't know how it all works. So that's today's adventure. Thanks for coming along with me, and we'll stop it there, and I'll join you again once I'm arriving at the charging station, and we'll start filming again and see how it goes from there. Okay, we are just coming up to the athletics track now. I can see the charger, there's nobody at it, so that's good news. And now we will just turn in, head down to the charge point, and see how it goes. Right, so if I pull into the parking space, it's quite good this, because with the IPace sometimes the charge point is you know, the posts stop you getting close enough. Sorry, that was the parking sensors for the pole there. Sometimes the posts stop you from getting close enough. So in this case, the posts are in front of the charger, but the parking space is alongside, so you can actually pull into the space and pull forwards far enough that the Jaguar's charge point is close to the charger. So that's a plus. That's a good thing, at least. Okay, now I'm going to, so I apologise for any camera shake we might experience now, but I'm just gonna, let me put these cards in my pocket. I'm just gonna unplug you and take you with me to the charger. Okay, so let's switch the car off. That's always a good start. And, oh, very bright. Apologies, but it is very bright. Okay, that's the car done. Now let's get the charge point open. Now, okay, there's today's first problem. The charger's not working. Or is it? Is the charger working? I really don't know at the moment. The green lights are on. Let me just try. Oh no. Oh, this is weird. I'm not sure what to make of this. Oops. Oh. Oh. I'm sorry about that. I forgot to take the cover off the CCS charger. Okay, so I've now plugged my car in. Clicked on start. No, let's try it again. Okay, that has not worked. Oh! What do you know? That is now charging. Now, the Nissan Leaf woman told me that technique, and that was what worked for her. Okay, so what I did was, see the screen, it's not a touch screen, but the screen is completely dead on this, which isn't helping. Now what the instructions say is, tap your card, plug your car in, and off you go. Okay, but as you can see, there is a start and stop button. So what this woman explained to me was, you hold your card up, and, you hold your card up to the section of the machine there, and at the same time, hold the start button down. And just hold it like that until the light at the top of the machine that was green, that's the other side, that's the chargeable charger, just to show you what it looked like. It then goes blue. Once it goes blue, your car is charging. And sure enough, if I jump in the car now, you can see the car is charging. Yeah, I'm at 70% state of charge, so I don't have any issues with needing to charge. There you go, 71 already. So, okay. So what that's proved is that the ChargePoint Scotland card is working. Okay. So now, what I'm going to do is take you back there, and I'm going to stop the charge. Do I need to use the card again to do that? Yeah, I think I do. So, if I... Yep. So it's stopping. Does not appear to be stopping. Ah, there it goes. And now you can see the light's gone green again. Now, I can't pull the lead out of the car until I unlock it. Then I can pull the lead out and put it back in. Okay, now the reason for that is a security thing, so that you can plug your car in to start charging and you can go away, have a coffee or whatever, and not have to stand by the car just in case some charging rager comes and plugs it in. Okay, hi there, I'm back again. Apologies, but you saw the charging start anyway. I ended up abandoning that because I had a few camera issues anyway, which was making it tough to film. But in addition, nothing else worked. Basically, my watch didn't work on that charger, and I suspect that it's because it's an old charger. It's got a system which is only recognising their card, because I also couldn't get my ChargePoint card to work on it either. Okay, but the good news is I got the charger to work. So I'll leave some feedback on ZapMap about that. Busy junction here. I'll leave some feedback on ZapMap about that, because I left some previously saying it didn't work, so it's only fair to leave it saying it did now work. So I'm not sure if this is down to if the charger was faulty, if there was something wrong with the IPace handshaking protocols or something that they've fixed with a software update, or whether there's no, I thought he was letting me out there, but he wasn't. No. Okay, thank you very much. And nearly there. Oh, thank you. Thanks. Phew, polite drivers, can't beat it. I do love being back in the UK. This is not what you get in the Middle East. Right, so, so either way, whatever has changed, either ChargePlace Scotland have done something with their software, or they've fixed the charger, or Jaguar's updated the protocols in the IPace over the air, in that software update I got. I suspect, actually I don't know, I was going to say I suspect they've done something to the charger, but I really don't know. Now, one thing I did discover is that screen that you could see in the video was actually on. It's just such an abysmal, awful screen that you couldn't see anything on it because the sun was shining on it. And it wasn't, it wasn't just like it was quite hard to read. It was invisible. I had to go right up to it, put my hand right over it, get it in shade. And even then, I could only just make out vague shapes on the screen. So it was actually on, it just was completely unusable. Okay, now just to complete this complete this video on the charging system, I'm just going to go and try my ChargePoint card at InstaVolt. Well, I want to try the watch thing because that unfortunately didn't seem to work with ChargePlace Scotland. Now, those chargers show up on the ChargePoint app. So yeah, that's a bit of an annoyance. Now, I only tried it briefly because at the end a gentleman came up who wanted to charge his Leaf, and it was not fair for me to be standing faffing around doing a video when he wanted to be charging and get on his way. So I just put a quick top up in, it was about 5 or 6%, just to make sure it was working, really, because I didn't need the charge and it was unfair to make people wait. And he is topping up for a long journey, so he's probably going to be there quite a while. So I thought that I would just head on and take the car to InstaVolt now and try out the ChargePoint card. Really, I want to try the watch one out. Like I say, on InstaVolt it doesn't gain me anything though, because on InstaVolt I can just pay with my normal debit card from the watch. But I just would quite like to again test out the ChargePoint card, make sure it is working, and hopefully get the reassurance that in future, when I do actually need it, I've got a reasonable degree of confidence that ChargePoint card is going to work. And it saves me carrying loads of cards, having to use different apps to access different chargers and all sorts of stuff. It basically just gives me the reassurance of being able to use one card. Now, that reassurance is already gone because it didn't work with the ChargePlace Scotland charger, unfortunately. But hey ho, you can't have everything. So I don't know whether to maybe stop off again on the way back and see if there's nobody there. It's quite a busy little charger, that. There always seems to be a Leaf pulling up to it. So it's kind of difficult to do things like this without getting in people's ways and upsetting them and causing grief and problems. So yeah, there is a bit of an issue there with filming at that charger, really, because I don't like inconveniencing people. I don't believe that people want to get their charge as quickly as they can and go home. Me standing there charging my 80 kilowatt hour battery with 70% charge just to prove a point is a bit thoughtless and inconsiderate. So while I wanted to kind of film all the options, I didn't want to inconvenience people. So you'll just have to take my word for it, though, that none of the other options worked. The ChargePlace Scotland app, what am I saying? I'm just talking rubbish now. The ChargePoint card and the watch app, neither of them worked. So yeah, not ideal, but I'll just keep going with my ChargePoint Scotland RFID card. I'll keep that in the car because, in all honesty, in Scotland they are quite a prolific charging network. They're everywhere, so it makes sense, I think, to keep that card for the 20 quid a year. It's no biggie, and they are all over the place. like I say, I don't do very much charging at all on route, but £20 a year is reasonable peace of mind. But that's where the whole charging thing starts to get a bit tricky, in my opinion. That's why I don't like the Polar Plus subscription. You end up, you know, you're paying all these subscriptions out, you know, 20 quid a year to ChargePoint, ChargePlace Scotland, £8 a month to BP Polar, you know, and etc, etc. I mean, that's £120 a year or something like that, isn't it? No, not quite, but nearly 120 quid a year if you just subscribe to those two services. And if ChargePlace Scotland start charging for electricity, you know, it becomes less appealing. And, you know, I don't mind having a subscription to use chargers, but when you start needing a subscription for every individual charging company, you know, it becomes unpalatable, shall we say. There would be a big enough outcry if Shell and BP suddenly said, yeah, if you pay us £10 a month, we'll let you use our petrol stations, you know. So I don't like the subscription model, in all honesty, especially since none of them have got a comprehensive enough network that you could just subscribe to that one, you know. So I hope that's a model that doesn't catch on, in all honesty. And it is one of the things I do like about the ChargePoint system, is that it accesses everybody's apps, everybody's chargers. Well, apparently not, but it should access everybody's chargers. Oh, I could have tried to start it. I wonder if you can start a charge using the ChargePoint app. I'll have a look at that and get back to you. But anyway, yes, we will shortly be arriving at InstaVolt, so I'll stop recording there, and we will pick it up again once we arrive at the well, this one's in a petrol station. Okay, we are just about to pull up to the InstaVolt charger. Here, this one is located, as I said, in a Shell petrol station, which is quite a good model, I think, because there's a coffee shop here as well. Now, because this is just about a quick charge for me, I'm not going to bother with coffee, okay? But if you just come with me, we will attempt to start this charge using my watch. Now, I've done this before using my debit card, but I'm going to try and start it using my ChargePoint card today. Okay, so let's go. InstaVolt, as I say. Let me put my card up on my watch, and then it says 35p. Okay, it's authorized, plug into vehicle. Okay, so now, ooh, that was hard work. That was hard work. Ooh, excuse me. Right, sorry for the shakiness, not easy. Okay, now, let's see. Car is plugged in and communicating. And how are we doing? Not much going on. Oh, sorry, you have to press start. Now then. Says it's charging. Let's see what we get. There we go. Nice green light. And so, yeah, it's already charging. Now let's see. 43.7 kilowatt hours. Battery's at 76%, so I'm not expecting a fast charge, right? But let's give it a minute to sort itself out. What have we got? 42.7. I do like that InstaVolt tells you what charge rate you get, and a lot of them don't, and I do like to see it. So let's see how we're doing. 42.8. So there you go, getting about 43 kilowatt charge rate at the moment, which a 76% state of charge is not too bad, to be honest. But yeah, we've got so yeah, we're getting 42 kilowatt hours out of that. 42 kilowatts out of that. Schoolboy error between kilowatts and kilowatt hours there. Get back in the car. Yeah, not too bad at all, in all honesty. I think from starting at 76%, we're at 78% now already. From starting at that level of charge to be getting 43 kilowatts charge rate out of it is pretty decent. Bear in mind, I just plugged it in as well. I'd been sat around for a bit, so the battery probably wasn't at the ideal temperature. But yeah, that's a fairly decent charge rate, in all honesty. And you've got to be happy with that. The ChargePoint card worked flawlessly, worked exactly the same as when I used my debit card. So yeah, we'll probably knock it off there, 79% already now. Yeah, well, that's probably enough. I don't need to keep charging. It really was an experiment to try out the charge cards, the different accounts, my Apple Watch, the near field, the NFC contactless system, etc, etc. And what I can say is InstaVolt has never let me down. I love InstaVolt. Not cheap at 35p per kilowatt hour, I'd like to add, but they're reliable. Certainly so far for me. I find them to be absolutely brilliant and so easy to use. You don't need an Apple Watch or a smartphone. If you've just got a contactless debit card, you tap that, it bills you direct. None of this nonsense of having an account that you have to either preload with money or that then takes money out of your debit card after the charge, you know, and then you have to give all these different companies your debit card details, which is a hacker's dream. You know, it's a data protection nightmare, because suddenly it only needs one of these companies to get hacked and somebody's got all your details. But with you know, ChargePoint, it's all in one place. Now I'll cover that. There's going to be a post discussion on the way home, but for now what I'm going to do is I'm going to unplug the car, I'm going to stop the charge, and I'm going to head back to that first charger, and if it's empty I'm going to stop off there again and just try messing around a little bit more with the ChargePoint card. But if there's somebody there, I'm not going to bother doing that. I don't, like I say, I don't like being that person that's messing other people around just because I'm doing something, you know. But yeah, I'm pleased with that charge rate. You know, I'm up at 80% now, and yeah, everything looks good. So we'll stop recording there. Actually, no, I'll take you with me and I'll show you me stopping the charge. Why not? But we'll get out of the car, we'll stop this charge, and oops, and yeah, we'll head back home. If, as I say, I'll go past that other charger, and if it's empty then I will give it another go. But if there's somebody there, then we'll leave it at that for this time. So to stop the charge on these, you have to, as far as I can recall, sorry, just get the card up on my watch. As far as I can recall, you just have to tap your card or your watch or your phone. Finished. Okay. And then unlock the car, remove the cable. Whoops, that simple. And then just a case of bunging the thing back in the socket. Don't forget, I've done this before, don't forget to put the cover back on your charge socket and close your charge door. I did once drive off without doing that, so learn from my mistake. Okay, well, we are back at the athletics track again. There's nobody in the charging bays, so fingers crossed I can have a bit of a time to just experiment with this and see what happens. But we'll go back to that first charging spot. Sorry, stupid seatbelt warning. Back to that first charging spot, and I won't waste any time. I'll just get straight onto the charging process. So yep, come with me, and next time you see me, we'll be, or next time you see anything, we'll be at the machine trying to get the car plugged in. Here we are, coming back up to the charger. I'll start with just using my ChargePoint card. Now, did that beep then? I don't know if that beeped then or not. Sorry, I'm just going to do it the same way I did it before. So I'm going to plug the car in first. Right, that's the car plugged in. Then put my card over the machine. Try desperately to get it to start. Nothing. It's not even beeping, is it? Okay. That was an interesting beep. Oh, now we're getting a red error message. Everything's gone red. That's interesting. Oh, and it's gone green again. Okay, let's try that again now. Okay, that did not work. One thing I can safely say is that did not work. It goes red, but then it goes green. Let me just try. I know this is a hiding to nothing, but let's hold my watch up to the payment detection zone thing. No. Sorry about this, I'm just using my other hand to try the start button. No, definitely nothing happening there. Okay, that doesn't seem to be working. Okay, well, we're on the way home. A little bit disappointed that the ChargePoint card didn't work. Not hugely surprised, but a little bit disappointed. I was hoping to really just be able to use that one card, preferably my watch, but even was fine with the odd occasion where the watch wouldn't work, and just use the ChargePoint account, or whatever you want to call it, to access all my chargers. But hey ho, even if it cuts down on some of the extraneous accounts that I need, I'll be happy with that. It helps. Most of them you can just use the app, so even if you end up at a charging point unprepared, you can just quickly download the app onto your phone, bang in an account, and be up and running there and then. But really, it's not ideal. When we've got a perfectly good payment system known as the banking system, and debit cards and credit cards, I don't really understand why they're trying to make it so complicated, other than a vague attempt to try and lock people into their ecosystem, and that's not going to work because none of them have got enough chargers for that to be effective. None of them got a strong enough network for that to really work. Now the other thing I like, which I was started to touch on earlier with ChargePoint, is from a security point of view, you can actually link it to 3 different payment methods. You can link it to a card as normal, but you can also link it to PayPal, which some people might find more convenient, because just whenever you change your card, you can just change it on PayPal, and all your associated accounts don't need to know the new card number. You know, you don't end up in that situation. Yeah, cheers for that, mate. But the other one, which I really like, is it allows you to link it to Apple Pay, which then basically means all of my payment information remains secure. I don't give them my card details at all. It just goes through Apple Pay, and that's it. You set it up on Apple Pay, you choose which Apple Pay linked card you want to use, okay, and I've got, well, actually at the moment I've only got 1 card linked to my Apple Pay, but I've got a second card that I should hook up to, and I will do at some point. 3 actually, because we've got our joint account as well, which really would be handy to have that linked to it as well. But anyway, you know, when you register and when you go into your settings in the ChargePoint app, go into your account, select your payment method. If you go to Apple Pay, it then pops up with, and which one of these cards would you like to use with Apple Pay? You tell it, and then that's the card it uses. Now, for those of you that don't know how Apple Pay works, what then happens from there on in, every payment that you make on Apple Pay stays on your device, and what your device does is it creates a temporary one-off card number, effectively, which is used for that transaction, linked to your card, and then binned. So the company that you're making that transaction with never actually sees your credit card details, so even they can't steal it. And basically, as far as I understand it, is the most secure form of online payment that there is, because it requires to be authenticated on your device, which you're doing by swiping that device on the machine itself. So if you use your phone, it will ask for a touch ID or a face ID. If you're using your watch, it doesn't do that, because the watch needs authenticated whenever you take it off. So if somebody stole my watch, in other words, it would come off my wrist, it would lock, they would then put it on their wrist, and wouldn't be able to unlock it again without either knowing my PIN number or also having my phone and then unlocking the phone with Face ID, which they wouldn't be able to do. So it's all very secure, basically, and I like that. I like that not every company on the face of the earth has to have a copy of my credit card details on their servers, because you're only ever one hack away from losing your credit card details. But by ChargePoint using Apple Pay, that problem goes away, and I like that. It's forward thinking, it's user friendly, it's secure. So we're liking ChargePoint. It's a shame I couldn't get the ChargePlace Scotland charger to work with it, but I'll do a bit more research, and if I ever figure out how to get it to work, or if I did something wrong, I'll do a little follow-up video just showing that. But it worked flawlessly on the InstaVolt, and presumably it would work great with other ones as well. I'm gonna have to do more research. I assumed that every charger on the ChargePoint app map, if that makes sense, would be a usable, geez, that's a big bus. It would be a usable charger with their card. You know, I assumed if it was showing up on their map, that meant it was a charger that you could use with their card. But certainly That didn't seem to be the case with the ChargePlace Scotland one, which was on their app, or on their map, the map and their app, but wouldn't let me use it. So again, I probably need to do a little bit more research into it and work out what was going on with that. It does seem odd to me that if it's showing up on their website map, and I think it also shows up on a map in the ChargePoint app, maybe I could start a charge using the ChargePoint app. Didn't think to try that. Did not think to try that. Wish I'd thought to try that. But yeah, other than that, it was a very successful little charging trip. I can't complain. Got everything to work by the end of it. And for next time, I will try the ChargePoint app and see if I can start a charge using that, because maybe that's got something to do with it. But anyway, yeah, little adventure, little bit of time to try things out. Glad I got the charger working. That's nice to know, because it definitely didn't work before. I'm starting to, the more I'm thinking about it, the more I'm thinking that there was a problem with my card, because like I say, somebody else's charges were showing up on my account. So I actually think something went wrong with the programming of my card. I think something got corrupted somewhere, and somebody else's card got programmed with my RFID code. So I think that might actually be why it didn't work before, possibly. Although when I phoned the helpline, I gave them the account number and they couldn't get it to work either, so maybe not. Anyway, whatever the reason, didn't work before, worked today. Happy about that, because that's the kind of thing you kind of want to know about before you're in a position where you actually need it. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, then please do click on the like button. If you've got any comments, any experiences with the ChargePlace Scotland network, or if indeed you've managed to get a ChargePoint card to work with it, then leave a comment down there. Let me know how you managed to do that, and I'll give that a go next time. Any comments you do leave, I will try and respond to. And if you want to be notified whenever I upload a new video, then if you click on the subscribe button, and then the important bit, don't forget to click on the little bell icon next to it afterwards, then you'll be notified anytime I upload a new video and you won't miss anything. So all that remains now is to say goodbye. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope you found it vaguely interesting, and I do hope you will join me again for the next one. Until next time, this is Abu Dhabi Dude saying so long, take care, see you soon, bye. Abu Dhabi Dude.